Hey, what's up, everyone? It's me, Dre. I'm on lunch break. Been on a tear, just making all these videos lately. Now, November is coming closer, and of course, you're gonna have the electorals. We're gonna find out who's gonna be our next president. Now, with me making my videos about Donald Trump is because I think he's an asshole. He's a racist asshole. I've made that abundantly clear. Now, I have friends that are conservatives. Me, I don't vote, so I don't swing to the liberal side or to the conservative side because I don't trust politicians. I think I've said this plenty enough times in my videos for people to understand that I just simply don't trust the politics and how there's no impact or care for black people or people of color. So my Redskins homeboy, Rodney Thomas, awesome guy, U.S. Army sergeant, great friend. He's a conservative, black guy. So I know a lot of people like, wow, I don't see that many conservatives that are black. RG3 is conservative. Still one of my favorite football players. You're gonna have the likes of Allen West, who I think is a coon. But there's a lot of black conservatives out there, and I don't think all of them are coons. Rodney certainly isn't a coon because when it comes to social injustices, he's very vocal. So he understands that shit is wrong in this country. But when it comes to politics, he and I go back and forth, and I play the devil's advocate because there's a lot of things that he might post against Hillary Clinton, and I'll rebuttal with things that George Bush may have done or Donald Trump has done that's fucked up, simply for the sake of a good argument. But at the end of the day, he's still my brother. Either way, this video is for Rodney, and again, this is not a diss video or nothing like that, but he's always asked me why I don't make videos about Hillary Clinton, and this video is about Hillary Clinton. Now, for me, going as far back as 94, 95, when her husband at the time, President Bill Clinton, created the crime bill, it targeted black and brown skinned people like myself. And during a congressional get-together, she spoke out where she called blacks and Latinos super predators. Now, I understand that she's talking about the elements in the street, the miscreants, the seedy elements. However, the generalization of calling blacks and Latinos super predators, where crime is across the broad spectrum from your dark-skinned individuals to your light-skinned individuals, but the crime bill that her husband created and her comments didn't sit too well. And of course, from then till now, you're talking 20 plus years, we've seen a dramatic increase in the incarceration rate of black and brown people for crimes that white people would get a slap on the wrist for. And with that privileged comment, she was not apologetic. Now, because she's running for the office of the president, she is saying, hey, I'm sorry for those comments I made 20 plus years ago. She's going and she's having these videos where she's going to black communities and she's doing a whipping and nay-nay. And this is all just a ploy. I don't trust Hillary Clinton. Now, this isn't about emails because, quite honestly, I don't give a fuck what was on the emails. Conservatives can bitch and complain about that while being passive about what's happening with the social injustices and police brutality here in the United States. But for conservatives to get upset about 4 Americans being killed at a U.S. embassy in Benghazi, but they don't say anything about the Americans that were killed with raids against U.S. embassies under George Bush's watch, that's a totally different story. But at the same time, that's why I don't give a shit about whether she had emails or not. The Department of Justice said there was no wrongdoing, but the Department of Justice also said that Darren Wilson wasn't in the wrong for killing Mike Brown. So you can't put too much stock in that either. All I know is none of us knows what the content of the email was. Emails that were destroyed, so be it. But we're crying and bitching about the wrong shit. For me, also, what struck deeply during the debate a few weeks ago with Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, Lester Holt posed the question to both of them about how we're going to improve race relations in America. Now, Clinton, to her credit, she did touch a little bit, but just a little bit about the subject. But both her and Trump started basically talking about crime in the inner city, where the question was, how are we going to improve race relations in the United States? Because Donald Trump has incited a lot of racist feelings within people of like minds throughout this country. And of course, with Hillary Clinton, her comment about super predators, we all understand that there's a certain perception that non-blacks have when they see someone of darker skin, which is why you see these instances of blacks being considered an immediate threat when we're pulled over by the police. No matter what anyone says, there's only so many times where you can see someone that has an interaction with the police and black people end up getting tape put around the dead body, and the cops getting administrative leave, and then a ticker tape parade by the neighborhood. But Hillary Clinton, she dropped the ball by not staying on task with that question. So along with the comment about super predators, yes, it was 20 plus years ago, but to any sensible black person that chooses to vote for her, I know a lot of people will say, well, she's the lesser of two evils, and that may be true, but why choose evil at all? Why compromise your dignity and your integrity for the sake of picking one over the other? That's why I choose not to vote. And even if she and Trump were not the front runners, maybe there was someone else, I still wouldn't trust politicians, because in the history of this country, whether it's the Democratic Party or the Republican Party, neither side gives a fuck about black people. And I say this even though we have a black president, but that same black president that was reelected for a second term, white people wanted to secede from the Union. That black president, when you see that white people have gone on to his Twitter page to call him everything but a black man, every derogatory term, that lets you know how fucked up this country is. And now when you look at how the political process has turned into a circus simply because you have Donald Trump making his comments, and now also with some of those comments about him groping women and the shit that he said, it's America is a laughing stock. But Hillary Clinton, she only serves herself, and she's doing what any other politician does by going into black communities and saying, this is what we're going to do for you. And then as soon as she gets in office based on our black vote, she's going to forget about us, just like every other politician has. And we are going to return to being the niggers that she called us basically back from 20 years ago. That's why I don't trust Hillary Clinton. So for me, I choose to sit out of wanting to vote for any one of the candidates simply because Donald Trump, it's not for me when he says, what the hell do you have to lose, black people? Self-respect. That's what I have to lose, and I'm not gonna compromise that for anyone. But for Hillary Clinton, I'm not gonna choose the lesser of two evils at the sake of whoring my soul out just to get the right candidate into office. I won't do that, not at all. Anyway, if you like this video, hope that you like, subscribe, and share. Don't forget to check me out on Facebook. Peace.